So, today I wanted to go over how I came to make the Sprocket bicycle app and what I'm doing with the Sprocket bicycle app. So, basically, I'm a mobile app designer. I have always been, I always will be, and I started in college because right at that time, the first app store just came out. Steve Jobs announced it, and people asked me to design some of the very early indie game app interfaces. So I thought this would be a great career, and I pursued it. I started freelancing and then working my way up through the industry. I worked for uh, some very small companies, some medium-sized companies, and eventually some larger ones you may know, some apps you may have on your phones, such as SoundHound or Verizon or Lyft, and even OneSignal, which is a platform for managing notifications for other apps. So a lot of your apps actually run with OneSignal notifications. And throughout this career as an artist, I thought it would be important to learn programming and business because it would make me a more well-rounded designer. It'd be interesting. It would help me help the companies I work for better. So, to that end, and because I was also concerned with climate change, I started working on the Sprocket bicycle app. Initially, the thought was I should do something outside of work so I'm not just focused on living for the company that I happen to be working for at any given moment. But also, it was a kind of idea that maybe you'll be successful, and if it's not successful, I'll be successful anyway because at least I'm doing something where I'm becoming a better designer that can offer more to a company that hires me. So I started Sprocket in 2014, and that was it wasn't even a bicycle marketplace at that point, it was a bicycle database. And initially, the first very rough draft of it, it wasn't even a database, it was just it was supposed to be like a fan page for different derailleur models. So I thought that would be interesting. Then it broadened out to be not just derailleurs, but all parts and all bicycles database, kind of like a specialized Wikipedia. And that was the first version of the app. It got up to 55,000 bikes, and you can search and you can find all our technical specifications. And it was just too expensive. It took too long. It's very difficult to enter the information unless you know what you're doing. So it's hard to find specialized data entry people that are familiar with the bicycle industry and bicycle lingo and components and history to know what they're doing. But as I started, and because I started, people learned about this project and they kept coming up to me and asking, hey, do you know where I can find a used $200 beater bike that I can buy? Or hey, I have a $200 beater bike. Do you know someone that I could sell it to? Can you help me sell it? And so a couple of years into trying to make this database, I pivoted into actually making it a marketplace. And I think what's important to note is it wasn't immediately successful. I practically did everything wrong, just like I did everything wrong up until the point of turning it into a bicycle marketplace. But like, just to give you some examples, to sign in, you didn't have a sign-in system. You had like a CD key system. So you would create a listing, and it would send you a code for that listing. And then if you wanted to edit the listing, you would have to enter that code. So you would sign in with that code. And then if you lost your code, you could recover your codes for an email, and it would just send all the codes assigned to that email to your email inbox. So then you could re-enter them to like edit or delete your listings. Super convoluted, completely unnecessary. We fixed it later by making it just a sign in with Google, sign in with Apple, sign in with Strava, all the good stuff. Um, but even initially, when we could sell bikes, at first you didn't have images because we thought that would be too hard. And of course, selling bicycles without images is practically impracticable because you have a need to show a photo of a bike so that people will buy it, but also as a trust factor, you want to show that you have the bike and that you know your listing is legitimate. So I need people to post bikes with photos as well. Um, Also, we had this interesting feature initially where we had this database of bikes, and you could click on an item in the database and create a listing from it, but that's the only way you could sell a bike. So if you were trying to sell any bike whatsoever that wasn't in our database, you couldn't actually do it. And we created this new feature called custom bikes where you could just create a bike. So like every single thing I think that I could do wrong, I did wrong. And the one saving grace I have is my tenacity, my ability to not give up and keep going. And that's something I learned from the bicycle industry itself, and that's something I learned from cycling itself. You only lose when you give up. So as long as you can just keep going, you keep making progress towards your goal. And so that's what I have done. And now the reason I'm making this video is it's coming up on 10 years of working on this app. Mostly as a side project, and now I've started full-time as of 2021. So it's been quite a journey to get to this place, and it still is uncertain how it's gonna pan out, but it's going pretty well. It's blowing up in India. It's doing really well in the United States, and I am so happy to wake up every morning and see dozens of bikes being posted from all over the world, and seeing what people are up to and what they're writing. So the next step is to probably optimize and continue to improve and evolve the app. But yeah, that's kind of the short story of the journey of how Sprocket came to be. And it's currently available on iOS and Android, Chrome OS, Mac OS, web, Amazon App Store, Samsung Galaxy Store, lots of places. We're about to launch it on Windows 11 as well through the Amazon App Store. So yeah, check us out. It's available at sprocket.bike app. Let me know your thoughts, feelings, comments. Appreciate it. Thank you.